Dwell on Possibility. This is my first video. I'm excited to be here. I was on BookTube a couple years ago, but just got busy with work and school and life, so I didn't get to make videos as often as I wanted to. So I'm back now, and I'm going to be talking about books again. My reading taste has changed. More along the lines of adult books now, whereas before I was more YA. I still do read some YA, but just not as much as I used to. They have to be really something about them has to stand out to me. So today's video, I'm just going to tell you about some books that are coming out next Tuesday, which is August the 7th, that I'm really interested in reading. Probably won't be able to get to all of them, but they sound amazing. So I have, I've got my laptop here. I'm going to be referring to it so that I can give you the correct information. The first book that I want to talk about sounds utterly terrifying. It's called An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapena. And I'm going to insert the pictures so you can see what they look like. This is out by Pamela Dorman Books, like I said, next Tuesday, August 7th. A little bit about the blurb here. A twisting new thriller from the New York Times bestselling author of The Couple Next Door and A Stranger in the House. It says a weekend retreat at a cozy mountain lodge is supposed to be the perfect getaway, but when the storm hits, no one is getting away. It says one of the guests turns up dead. It looks like an accident, but when a second guest dies, they start to panic. They're snowed in, and they have to figure out what is going on. So this does sound a little cabin feverish. Sounds a little creepy, not gonna lie, but I have been craving and devouring thrillers all summer long, so this one looks great. Okay, the next one is called The Masterpiece by Fiona Davis. I have read Fiona Davis before. I cannot remember. It was The Dollhouse. That was a couple years ago, I think. So this is historical fiction, I'm pretty sure. Takes readers into a glamorous lost art school within Grand Central Terminal, where two very different women, 50 years apart, strive to make their mark on a world set against them. So the cover looks very 1920-ish. Okay, so one girl, Clara, is in 1928, and the other one, Virginia, is 50 years later in the 70s. And it's about their time in this being artists, and how the world goes against them, and how the world defines art. Because we all know that in the 20s and even in the 70s, a lot of things were still a man's world. So this is out from Dutton, 368 pages. Pretty excited about this. The cover is absolutely beautiful. I did not realize that was Grand Central Terminal the first time that I looked at the cover, but it was so pretty. And then now that I'm reading this, it looks really good. Okay, so the next one, I believe, is it's saying a domestic suspense, addictive novel, disturbing. It's called Our House by Louise Candlish. I have not read anything by her. But this is out from Berkley. Love Berkley, great publisher. So it says, there's nothing unusual about a new family moving in at 91 Trinity Avenue, except it's her house and she didn't sell it. When Fiona Lawson comes home to find strangers moving into her house, she's sure there's been a mistake. She and her estranged husband, Benjamin, they have an arrangement from what it looks like. They each spend time in the house with their children in order to give them a stable lifestyle. But it says now Bram, the husband, has disappeared, and so have her children. Events start spiraling out of control. she's discovering the many lies her husband was weaving and how little she truly knew him. I love secrets. I love secrets because you just strive to the end to figure out what that secret is, and that's part of what just draws you in. I love the cover too. Very Halloween-y, fall vibes, so that one looks really good. Okay, the next one is called The Third Hotel by Laura Vandenberg. And this one is out from FSG. Okay, and so this one I read the blurb before to try to give myself a little bit of knowledge about the books, and it was really trippy sounding. So it says, in Havana, Cuba, a widow tries to come to terms with her husband's death and the truth about their marriage. In Laura Vandenberg's surreal, mystifying story of psychological reflection and metaphysical mystery. So I think what happens is that Claire, the protagonist, goes to attend this festival of new Latin American cinema, and she sees her husband, who is supposed to be dead. She's baffled completely, and from there has to kind of figure out what was the truth from lies, and about her marriage to him. And I think it's going to be a really kind of, not thrillerish, but suspenseful, psychological twisty read. Okay, the next one sounds like it could be a sad one. It's called If You Leave Me by Crystal Hannah Kim. And this is out from William Morrow on Tuesday the 7th. So this is being described as an emotionally riveting debut novel, love debut authors, about love, war, family, forbidden love. So the unforgettable saga of two ill-fated lovers in Korea and the heartbreaking choices they're forced to make in the years surrounding the Civil War that still haunts us today. They both end up in a refugee camp, I believe. They're very young. And they have to they're finding their way through war life, refugee life, and their world is just constantly changing, as I'm sure you can imagine. This is the Civil War that took place in Korea. I believe this focuses around that. The cover is absolutely beautiful. Just looks stunning. Very excited about that one. Okay, down to the last three. I've done this very quickly, so I am glad of that. So the next one is called Three Things About Elsie by Joanna Cannon. And I did not realize this was an elderly woman hiding in the floral print there on the cover until I went back and was looking at these books, like I said. So this one is out from Scribner. Yeah, Three Things About Elsie. And I always want to say Elise, but it's Elsie. Yeah. Okay, so this one is the little blurb here I just have to read. There are three things you should know about Elsie. The first is that she's my best friend. The second is that she always knows what to say to make me feel better. And the third might take a bit more explaining. So, in the beginning, it says that 84-year-old Florence has fallen in her flat at Cherry Tree Home for the Elderly. She's waiting to be rescued. She thinks about her friend Elsie, and she wonders if a terrible secret that they shared in the past is going to come out all this time, now that all this time has passed. So it says, if the charming new resident is who he claims to be, why does he look exactly like a man who died 60 years ago? As we uncover their buried secrets, we learn how the fine threads of humanity connect us all. Secrets. Keyword, I'm hooked. Okay, so this next one, I'm telling you, these publishers are killing it with the covers. Tiffany Blues by M.J. Rose. I have read an M.J. Rose book before. I don't remember which one it was because there's been quite a few. This is out from Atria Books. And also a little bit about art, an artsy one. So it says a novel of ambition, betrayal, and passion about a young painter whose traumatic past threatens to derail her career at a prestigious summer artist colony run by Louis Comfort Tiffany of Tiffany & Co. fame. Jazz Age, Dazzling Jazz Age Jewel. is how this book is described. So that sounds really, really good. 1924, New York setting. 24-year-old Jenny Bell is one of a dozen artists invited to Louis Comfort Tiffany's prestigious artist colony. This cover looks like a watercolor painting. It's absolutely stunning. I'm really excited for this one. Very, very excited for this one. Okay, and then the last one is one of the Book of the Month picks, and that is Goodbye Paris by Anstey Harris. Maybe? Yes? Okay, and this one I already have a copy of. I was sent from the publisher and I left it in the kitchen. Is out from Touchstone. And I'm really, really excited to read it because the publicist, when she contacted me about reading it, she said it was one of her favorites of the summer. So I'm very, very, very excited. It says that this is a charming novel that proves that sometimes you have to break your heart to make it whole. Grace once had the beginnings of a promising musical career. Something happens in her life. She ends up in Paris. Yeah, she ends up in Paris and meets all these quirky characters, it says, filled with lovable, quirky characters. This poignant novel explores the realities of relationships and heartbreak and shows that when it comes to love, there's more than one way to find happiness. I've loved Paris since I was a little girl. I actually had my room decorated like Parisian themed one time. So I'm very, very excited to read this. Very simplistic cover. I love the typography on the front. Very, very excited to see how her time is spent in Paris and what she learns there. So that's it, guys. That's it for the books. I'm sure there's more that are coming out next Tuesday, but these are the ones that I really, really hope to get to. Thank you for joining in. Please like, subscribe. Hopefully I will have the time to continue doing this, and see you guys soon. Bye, guys.